What's happening, Cucumber Squad? Right, Tom. Here's some Tom for Tom. this is Tom Berrison. I'm pretty sure I said it right now. Right, of his birthday on the 15th of February. I told him I would do this, but I said I would do it the next day, and it's I don't know, like 4 days late. Sorry, I apologize about that. Really, I really do try to get to it, man. But Jesus, I promise you, sometimes just life gets hectic. Sometimes life just gets hectic, and I have a baby that just goes. I mean, so yeah. Tom Waits, Tom Traubert's Blues, 4 Sheets to the Wind in Copenhagen. I haven't ever heard of this artist. I've never reacted to this artist. This is the first time, man. But Tom, man, this is for you, man, for your birthday. Happy birthday. I hope it was a super awesome one, and I apologize this is late. Let's rock and roll.
Wasted and wounded, it ain't what the moon did. God, what I paid for now. See you tomorrow. If Frank, can I borrow a couple of bucks from you to go waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda.
Okay, firstly, his voice is pretty awesome. I like that little grunty type, like, it's almost grunty, raspy, husky. It's like a combination of the three. Like, that's how I feel his voice is, right? Absolutely awesome. The fact that he's painting a really interesting story over here where he's like wasted and wounded isn't actually the case. It's not about wasted and wounded, right? He's saying that ain't what the mood is, right? I just need some money so I can go and waltz Matilda. So it's almost like he's going through a couple of troubles and he doesn't have cash. He's financially strapped, right? So he's like, hey, Frank, Tom, hey, this is interesting that this is actually for Frank. Lend Tom some money. He can Venmo Frank. Lend Tom money, bro. You can Venmo Tom some money, bro, so he can go and waltz with Matilda. Let's go. Let's go back.
Couple of bucks from you to go waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you go waltzing Matilda with me. I'm an innocent victim of a blinded alley, and I'm tired of all these soldiers here. No one's.
I'm an innocent victim of a blinded alley, and I'm tired of all these soldiers here. So I kind of feel like he's trying to say that he's fighting a war. So the alley I've chosen, the avenue I've chosen to go down, I'm an innocent victim. I didn't know it was going to be this hard. I didn't know it was going to be this tough. I didn't know that I was going to face this kind of front line and all of these soldiers here that are literally fighting me. So it's almost like, in a way, saying all these skeletons in my closet to a certain degree. I might be wrong, but that's how I'm sort of perceiving it at the moment.
And I'm tired of all these soldiers here. No one speaks English and everything's broken, and my stasis are soaking wet. To go.
What is it? So my Stacy's are soaking wet. Stacy's? Now this must be an old term. This must be an old type brand, maybe. My Stacy's are soaking wet. Maybe is that his shoes that he's saying? So my Stacy's? I've never heard a brand called Stacy's with regards to I'm sure it's either shoes or it must be shoes.
To go waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, the dogs are barking and the taxi cab's parking. A lot they can do for me. I begged you to stab me. You tore my shirt open, and I'm down on my knees tonight.
Just, this sounds like he's going through a lot of problems. Firstly, it sounds like he smokes a carton of cigarettes every single day. Secondly, he says the dogs are barking and the taxis are parking. There's a lot they can do for me. They can take me out of here. They can take me out of this situation, right? I can get out. I can get into a cab and I can leave, right? I begged you to stab me. So it's almost like he's telling a loved one that he's saying, you know, things are just so rough for me. I begged you to stab me, right? And sort of be done with me. Anyway, wait a second. And now I'm down on my knees.
Down on my knees tonight. Old Bushmills, I staggered. You buried the dagger. Your silhouette window light.
So it sounds like he's almost had a fight. Like the Bushmills are staggered. Isn't Bushmills a type of drink? So it's like those Bushmills are staggered. Right, so like he's drinking intermittently, like he's drinking every now and again, right? While you go and hide the dagger, as if this was like a major fight, right? Or it's like you backstabbed me, essentially. It's a very interesting song.
To go waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you go waltzing Matilda with me. Now I lost my St. Christopher, now that I've kissed her, and the one-armed bandit nose, and the maverick Chinaman in the cold-blooded signs, and the girls down by the striptease shows go.
Okay, so he's kind of painting a picture over there in terms of like his environment, essentially. Let me just go back. The Maverick Chinaman, is it like this Chinese shop going towards the striptease club where, I don't know, maybe Matilda's there.
Bandit nose, and the maverick Chinaman in the cold-blooded signs, and the girls down by the striptease shows go. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you go waltzing Matilda with me. No, I don't want your sympathy. Fugitives say that the streets aren't for dreaming now.
I don't want your sympathy, the fugitives say, but the streets aren't for dreaming now. So it almost sounds like he's really going through a very, very hard time. And he's like, I don't want your sympathy, right? Where I reside, where I am, these dark times, my sort of life that's in the gutter, right? It doesn't deserve your sympathy. These streets aren't for dreamers, right? I stopped dreaming a long time ago. I love the composition of the music as well, though. The instrumentation is so beautiful on this as well. So it really, really is beautiful. I really like his voice too.
Manslaughter, dragnets, and the ghosts that sell memories. They wanna be.
Wait a second, that was fire. Manslaughter, dragnets. I don't know what a dragnet is. What's a dragnet? Dragnet. I'll try and dragnet. Let me see what that is. I need to find out what that is. Definition. Dragnets is an American radio, television, and motion picture series in acting, meaning a system of coordinated measures for apprehending criminals or suspects manslaughter dragnets, and the ghosts that sell memories. That's pretty fire.
And the ghosts that sell memories, they want a piece of the action anyhow. Go.
So it's crazy where he's saying, like, you know, these dragnets, the system, and these ghosts, right, want a piece of me. They want their pound of flesh too, right? They want to have fun with my life too.
Old Sing Matilda, old Sing.
So I kind of also feel like this whole waltzing Matilda, specifically on the hook, right? That hook of like, I just want to go waltzing Matilda, right? So it's almost like Matilda sounds like she's one of the strippers. She's one of the strippers in the striptease show or whatever else, right? But he's falling in love with her. Right, and that's kind of like the only solace that he finds, because even on that, there's a bit more of an upbeatedness to his voice. There's an upbeat, like sort of feel to that part of the song, where it's like the only solace I can find is just going and waltzing with Matilda, regardless of if many other men have waltzed with her. You know what I mean? I'm happy to just lend a couple of bucks so that I can go and sort of, you know, just be with this woman for a bit. You know what I mean? It's kind of like my vice in these dark times, in these dark days. That's how I'm sort of portraying it. It is my first time listening, so you guys might need to help me with this. Tom, it's on you, bro. It's your track. Let's go.
Sing Matilda, you go waltzing Matilda with me. And you can ask any sailor, and the keys from the jailer, and the old men in wheelchairs know that Matilda's the defendant. She killed about 100, and she follows wherever you may go.
I like the way he's portrayed that. So he's basically saying, ask any sort of defendant, ask any sailor, ask anyone in a wheelchair, right? Matilda's been around, right? I like the fact that he's actually put it in that way where, wait a second, let's just go back.
The old men in wheelchairs know that Matilda's the defendant.
I like that from the legal term. Matilda's the defendant, right? I'm the plaintiff. You know what I mean? I'm the plaintiff, but Matilda is the defendant. Like it's my fault, right? It's my fault. I've caused this, right? She's the defendant. She's the one defending herself from all of these men who want her. It's very cool.
She killed about 100, and she follows wherever.
She killed about 100, right? That's very clever, because the stripper's like, you can't really, I kind of feel like this man has fallen in love with a stripper, and it's like kind of killing him that she's, you know, like she just lays waste to men, but that's kind of her job, right? Which is like killed about 100, you know what I mean? So it's very clever that he's painted that in that way, where it's like she's the one in defense, but she's got a defensible case, essentially, because we want her, right? And even though she uses all of us, right, and we pay that pretty penny to be, you know, to allow her to use us, essentially, it kind of like, it fits a narrative for me. It fits a comfort for me. So that's okay. But yet it kind of kills me that I can't have her, because that's just what she does.
You may go. Old Sing Matilda, old Sing Matilda, you go waltzing Matilda with me. And it's a battered old suitcase to a hotel someplace, and a wound that will never heal.
It's a battered old suitcase to a motel someplace, and a wound that will never heal. Right? This is all I got. These are my possessions. Right? That's it. Where I reside tonight is God knows. You've been saying a motel someplace. I don't even know where. I don't even know where I reside. Right? And I'm carrying, with that suitcase, I am carrying a wound that'll never heal. That could mean that families falling apart, lives falling apart, being rejected, whatever. Very cool. Very nice way. Really, really, really poetic, this.
No prima donna, the perfume is on an old shirt that is stained with blood and whiskey. And good night to the street sweeper.
I kind of feel, wait a second, like with a shirt that is stained with blood and whiskey, like other than that, is that something that he injured himself, or is that also sort of alluding to like a suicide of some sort, right? Overdose of, sort of either drugs or drinking too much alcohol and then sort of trying to take your own life. I'm not sure.
Whiskey. And good night to the street sweepers, the night watchmen, flame keepers. And good night, Matilda.
So I kind of feel like the fact that, just after he says good night, or good night to the street sweepers, good night to Matilda too, right? It almost feels like good night is, the way he's saying it is as if it's almost final. It's not like just good night for tonight. It's almost like this life ain't fucking worth it. You know what I mean? I can't have anything I fucking want. Everything's a fucking joke, and the only solace I find is in a fucking stripper. You know what I mean? What's good of this life? What's good of this war? What's good of this alley that I'm in, consistently fighting all of these soldiers, all of these battles all the time, right? And it doesn't matter, I turn into the next alley, and the next alley, those soldiers are consistently there. I'm blinded to it. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel like that good night is final. It's almost like he's finalizing, his life there. So I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's how it's sort of coming to me. The instrumentation on that was pretty amazing. I really loved that orchestra feel from there, and the piano was absolutely gorgeous, right? So I kind of painted the picture. In my own head from my first time listening. I kind of painted the picture as just this man who's going through troubled times, an alley that he's picked that he could have never ever possibly known that would have been so difficult, right? So he's in these blinded alleys with all these soldiers in it, right? And I kind of feel like the only solace he ever got was from a stripper. He painted that picture so beautifully with regards to, going to the strip club where Matilda is to go and waltz with her, right? With the Chinaman and whatever else. And even the way he painted, like the many different men that were with her, like ask the sailor, ask the man on the chair, the man in the wheelchair and that kind of thing. So he's really painted a beautiful story over there, right? And then almost towards like the end, not almost towards the end, at the end, he kind of felt like, at the end of the day, like I'm going to a motel room with a tattered bag and a wound that'll never heal, and with like smelling of whiskey and bloodstains on my shirt. And then the way he says goodnight at the end there almost feels like this life ain't worth it. Good night to the street sweepers. Good night to Matilda. You know what I mean? I've had enough. So that almost felt final to me. You know what I mean? I've got nowhere to stay, I've got no one to be with, and this war ain't worth it anymore. So it almost sounds like a very, very, very sad, depressing song of suicide. I might be wrong. But anyway, I love you all, man. Please stay safe, please stay healthy. If you got any more information on this, just put it down in the comments, man, and we can chat about it. Love you all, man. Stay safe, stay healthy. Once again, love you all. Peace.